Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. For one night only, Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS will present Chita, a legendary celebration. It will take place on Monday evening, October 7th at the August Wilson Theater. Written by Terrence McNally, it is directed by Graciela Danielle. And I am here at the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS office, where I caught up with the two-time Tony Award-winning legend just weeks before this incredible event. Here we are, we're sitting in the offices of BC EFA.
Hello.
Hello. How excited are you about October 7th?
I am scared. No, I'm, the closer it gets, Richie, the more excited I get. You know, I'm going to be seeing Grazie tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about things and running some music, and so we're starting. And I'm excited because it's really a celebration of Broadway Cares, really, as far as I'm concerned, because it's about Broadway Cares, and I am really, really humbled to be doing it for Broadway Cares, you know, after all these years. So you want to work, you want to sweat a little bit. You don't want anybody doing it for you. You want to give, and I'm hoping that we can raise a good amount of money for Broadway Cares. That's what it's all about.
Well, tell me what this organization means to you, because you've done a lot to raise a lot of money for BC EFA. Tell me what it means to you.
Well, I mean, I was, years ago, Fritz Holtz and Barry Brown started it, and I did their very first, and I hope I'm saying it properly, you know, I know that we did the very first benefit for AIDS. And that was like in the 70s, I believe. I should really go back and check these dates and things, but and it was pretty powerful then, and we've come a long way, but it's got to be erased. It's got to go, and so I'm really honored and humbled to be able to do what I do at this time in my life. For an unbelievably important cause. And I think Tom, Viola, and Scott, and the whole crew up here they've got a place in heaven, as far as I'm concerned. You know, they work hard.
Well, you know, the evening is being put together by your friends, directed by Graciela Danielle.
Exactly.
And written by Terrence McNally. Tell me what they mean to you and what the evening with them will be like.
Well, Terrence knows me so well, and Terrence, who is so busy, wrote some stuff for me and said, Chita, be free, be yourself, and use whatever you would like to use. So that kind of freedom is really nice. I mean, it is one show, you know. We're just going to get a bite of this. And then you want to go, I know I'm going to go, oh, can't we just one more night? And Grazie, who is, you know, my soul sister, who has the biggest heart in the whole world, and who has a great talent, as Terrence does, she's going to put things together, and we'll have a few little surprises and little additions, and I prefer it to be a tiny bit of a surprise, you know. But I always get scared when people talk about things, and I feel as though they're almost being blown up too much, and people are going to expect too much. I just want people to come, me to entertain, them be satisfied, have some fun, have some nice memories of my life, you know, which has been superb as far as the theater is concerned. You know, people say, which show do you like best? How can I say I like Chicago better than A West Side Story? I mean, I was just lucky to come in at the golden age. Hello.
Hello.
So I've got a large vocabulary, thanks to the time.
Now, you're also going to have your band members. You're going to have your guys.
Oh, yes, and Michael Kreuter, and Jim, Danica and Michael Patrick Walker. Yes, my guys. I can't move without these guys, and they give 200% all the time. And I know when they're behind me, I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I just don't want my energy to kind of like get in the way because I'll be so excited. It's cool.
I know that one of the greatest afternoons for you was when BC EFA reunited the original cast of West Side Story
Right.
for the 50th anniversary at the
Right.
Gypsy of the Year.
Yeah.
Do you remember that afternoon? I mean,
Oh,
it must have been
gosh,
so
yeah.
surreal. What was that like for you?
It was surreal to see Kenny come out on stage, Bernard, the original Bernardo, to see Mickey Callan, come through the center of the stage, and to see my husband, my ex-husband, Tony Mordenti, all these guys, Harvey, and just to relive that stuff again. You're very lucky. Seldom do you get a chance to revisit your life and good stuff, and I've been able to do that because I keep hanging on, Richie. You're gonna have to shoot me in the legs.
And it's someone like BC EFA that put that whole thing together, that thought about that, to bring back these memories for you and also for us as an audience member.
Absolutely. Well, when you're lucky enough to have a classic like that, I keep saying, somebody told me it was the 50th anniversary. Well, I never knew because I've been living the life of a 35-year-old woman all these years and never knew how old I was.
And you do it well. When you have this iconic life that you do, so many things have happened to you and for you. You were the first Hispanic to receive the Kennedy Center honors. What are your memories of that? That is so special.
Last night, Billie Jean King, I saw a special video of her, and it was great. And she was honored that time, and I didn't even tell any of my family. All of a sudden, I went, "Oh," because the president was standing next to her, and right behind them, sitting in the chair, was moi, and I went, "Oh, that's right, Billie Jean was there that year," and. You don't realize, you wonder how it happens, because you really do what you do because you love to do it and you kind of have to, and then somebody gives you something and says, that was wonderful, I'm awarding you the Medal of Freedom, and you never expect that kind of thing. So thank you is never, ever enough, but thank you is kind of like all you can say because it kind of seems unreal. Yeah. It seems unreal. In the house, I'll look down and I'll go, ooh. I was watching television, another show, and somebody had it on, and I went, ooh, I've got one of those. It's wild. But I'm extremely grateful and humbled, Richie. Humbled. It will make you humble.
You have worked with so many great, iconic directors, choreographers, and stars. One that comes to mind is Gwen Verdon, who I know was your dearest friend. Talk about Gwen, what she meant to you, what she means to the community, what she meant to Broadway Cares.
Well, Gwen was, she was one of the stars of Can-Can years and years ago. And Michael Kidd hired me. I was the first replacement, and there I was watching the Gwen Verdon be brilliant in Can-Can. And it was during that show that she said, Chita, you don't have to, because I was auditioning with a lot of the other girls for her understudy, and she said, you should go out and seek your own roles. And that was the first time anybody had ever given that idea to me. I would have been forever the gypsy, the chorus person. And so then I find myself standing behind her in Chicago with my hat and my cane, and she had her hat and her cane, and I'm going, wow, life is really fantastic. You never know where you're gonna be and what gifts are given to you. Gwen, she was one of the greatest dancers, certainly a personality that is like no one else is like her. Her voice, her sparkling eyes, the green eyes, her red hair, just the fire and the humor and everything that came from her. Well, she taught so many people how to be really professional and really good at what they do. We became friends, and as usual, when you're in a show with another woman, people love to make up stories like you're fighting and no way. We just laughed it off and continued to have a great experience in Chicago. So she just means a lot to me. She, to me, is the best. And I think the kids today should really, check her out and make sure they see the films that she's done and the variety of dance that she was able to do,
I want to go back to West Side Story for a second, because that's probably, like, if not everyone's favorite musical, it's definitely in their top 3 or 4 greatest musicals of all time.
Right.
When you were working and creating the show, when did you all realize what that was going to become, or did you?
We didn't. I can only speak for myself, and we were so busy working. We were so busy doing what we were told and singing that unbelievable. We knew that what we were doing felt amazing, and there was something really important about it. And Jerry Robbins made sure that we knew what the play was about, differences in races and cultures and things. So we were learning all the time about what the world was all about. And how do you like that, being surrounded by that kind of music? That's extraordinary. When did we realize it? I don't think I know when we got to the National Theater in D.C., when the audience got involved and America stopped the show and we went, well, what do we do now? And Jerry says, you go downstairs, change your clothes, and go on with the show. Oh, okay, this is the theater. And then people would come back and crying, and they were touched and they understood. And it was only around then that we were able to come out of ourselves and understand how it was being received. Yeah.
I know that after you finish this One Night Only, you're going to go back on the road again with a brand new show. Can you tell us anything about that, or how exciting it is to go back on the road again and take your show across the country and around the world?
I don't have to make my bed. I can order room service. I can. I like the road, because every time I just said earlier, I got home from Provincetown. The next morning, I looked out my window, and on my lawn was a tree that had fallen. Now, if I'm in a hotel room, that tree, I'm not going to have to deal with that tree. I heard ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So I like the road. I like my guys. There'll be different size orchestras. Sometimes it'll be the trio. Sometimes it'll be a larger orchestra. And I'll be going to towns where I have friends. So it's kind of, it's nice to move out. And I need to work, Richie. I like to work. I enjoy it. It keeps me fresh. It keeps me alive. We're going to go to Italy. I want to take Lisa back to Positano and enjoy some memories from that. It's about making new memories and enjoying the old ones.
Is there a role you'd still like to do on Broadway?
Oh wow! Well, I love me some Spider-Woman. I did love her. Flossie Klotz's costumes were just so fabulous. She just felt so great, and being the Spider-Woman was really exciting. And Brent Carver, if I could have Brent Carver, I'd do anything again. But I think maybe, I haven't really thought about it, because I've really been so satisfied with the length, because I stayed with shows a long time. I didn't pop from one show to the other. I stayed with them, and I felt, I felt I felt the growth in the play. I felt the differences in the audiences. The stories were always necessary stories to tell. And so when the audience gets it, you feel as though you put that plug in and they understand what you're talking about. Theater's great, isn't it? The theater is just phenomenal. So I think I'd like to do, I would enjoy Spider-Woman again. I mean, I even love the climbing because I'm a monkey. I can still climb. So
put those wings on.
Put those clothes on. The minute you put those clothes on, you become what that person is all about. And those wings were gorgeous, just gorgeous. And I loved that climbing all over that place, acting like a spider. I loved it.
Because I think you work with so many great composers also, but I think the composer lyricists that mean the most to you, I think, and nearest and dearest to your heart are John Kander and Fred Ebb, who of course created so many incredible roles for you between Anna in The Rink and Aurora in Spider-Woman and Claire in The Visit.
That's right.
And everything else. What do they mean to you?
Well, most of all, they're my friends. They're my family, really. And without Freddie and John, I wouldn't be. I don't know what I would be doing, where I would be, who I'd be. I would be a different person. They have brilliantly allowed me to play these amazing roles and get a lot of accolades for them. It's Freddie and John that did it. I obeyed. I know when I'm in good company, and I do what I'm told, and I'm glad I did. And Terrence was so brilliant. So Freddie and John. I get very sad when I think Freddie is not around, but he is. He's all over my house, and I'll think of some absurd thing that he said, some ridiculous joke that he's, and we laugh about it. And so he's always in our life. And John, of course, is still going at it, still writing that beautiful music. He's doing exactly what he should, and living his life and loving his Albert. And, you're going to make me cry. I mean, those are the important things in life. And these are good human beings who give their gifts to the theater, and they're brilliant. They're dangerous. They're courageous. They're melodic. They're funny. They're dark. They're bright. I mean, the whole scope of Freddie and John, brilliance.
As you look back on this, you just approached this milestone birthday with this incredible celebration. As you look back on your life and career, what are you the most proud of?
My daughter, my Lisa. Yeah, my Lisa. And I am also proud that I've been able to recognize how lucky I've been. Because when you recognize it, the picture is even better. It's like leading double lives. You're here, but you have that awareness that you're pretty lucky, and you've got great, unbelievable friends that come up with it. I've got friends coming that have donated a lot of money to Broadway Cares. How do you explain that except friendship?
Exactly. We will see you on October 7th. We're there all day and all night.
And I love you, Richie, because you're one of those friends.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you more.
I love you. No, I love you more.
I love you more.
I love you more. More. Quick.